We used to say in previous years that gamification should be the huge part of education. AI, of course, offers limitless possibilities. Imagine, right, all the interaction, experiences there. So, Dev, where do you think we're going in terms of gamification, making it fun, engaging kids in good way? So we're not afraid that they're spending more time in front of the screen, but basically at the same time providing value.
Absolutely. So I think the TV is a very good example. The TV is valuable. It was very valuable for me. My first formative English, so I'm not from the UK, of course, I'm from India originally. I learned by watching movies and English cartoons as well when I was a child. So, I used to watch Discovery. It's got its benefits, a lot of learning shows. But it also had, that same thing within just use of a few more minutes or a few more hours could become a bad thing. It could waste your time. You could be consuming wrong information, or you could be consuming information that was not really beneficial as compared to the others. So it's the same thing here. It's the same thing in the internet, actually. So let's move from the TV to the internet. Same thing. It can be very beneficial. It can be extremely problematic. Society has to choose whether they allow it or not. I think society chose that internet's benefits outweighed the problems it created. So it's allowed. Same with mobile. You can stick to it and become absolutely antisocial, and you have a lot of uses of it. Society chose that the uses outweighed the problems. I would guess so, at least. That's why we're using it. AI has the same thing. I think the difference here is, again, coming back to the original point of language. Everything that you're talking about, what you see on TV, what you read or consume on the internet, what you consume on your mobile phone, is all a derivative of language. It's a script, it's a video, it's an audio, etc. AI, for the first time as a machine, can create its own language-based output. That allows it to give us unlimited access or unlimited content as compared to the other things. Just like I said, TV was Winnie the Pooh, everybody same thing. In our case with AI, your Teddy speaks to you differently, my Teddy speaks to me differently. That's the difference. But end of the day, we have to take a step back and put our checks and measures on that screen, because I think that's where the main balancing act can come. And of course, to also look at what this endless possibility of content can be that somebody is consuming. But we've already been through that in our own generation. Just moving from the internet, from the TV to the internet was the same thing. You went from, 8 channels or 20 channels to suddenly 8 million websites. So we've gone through that. This one is going to be more exponential. But yeah, we need to look at that screen first and try and put our balances there.
Dr. Pauldy, what's your take on this?
I think society doesn't necessarily make life easier for us as well. If I think about, a general day, you would, let's say I drive with my car, I go to my office. I need to pay for parking by using my phone because there is no card machine there. It says pay by, this app. So you have to download the app and pay by phone. Then, I need to make a transaction. I need to pay for something. I go to the online app. Then I go for lunch and I go with my colleagues and we sit. The way we order, we don't ask the waiter, can you please take an order? They say, no, scan that QR code and, put on the menu, take what you want from the menu and then pay online. And you get an email receipt and they will bring the food and drinks, whenever it's ready. So I think by all of these things that we do in our daily lives, it's almost impossible in certain aspects to not use your phone. You have to use it. You need to authenticate for work. You need to pay everything via the phone. You pay, if you use transport, parking, you order food. There is almost nothing left that you have to communicate with another person. And I think that sometimes makes it also difficult to then not be stuck to your phone, because everybody, you do everything on it. It is almost an extension of you, just in a different format. And you use it for everything you do. So where do we then draw the line if society has already opened up everything that we do, what we used to do by talking to someone or by using a different device, not necessarily a screen, but just, let's say, a bank card? Where do we go when it then comes to learning and specialized learning, personalized learning, where actually screen time can be much more beneficial than me ordering my lunch from the phone that I can actually also talk to a person to, because, they're working there anyway. They are going to bring my order. So sometimes it's difficult to see where that line is and how we can, extend the boundaries of where we currently are operating in.
Or can you share some examples, case studies, okay, where real schools, real institutions implement AI as a teacher effectively. I mean, any good kind of stories from your own experience and practical applications.
So I think for us, it's quite a bit of a story. So in 2020, we started digitally teaching, and it was done with trainers from ourselves, from our team, so human trainers. And we actually scaled to about 11 countries. So we didn't expect that. Probably the pandemic helped. And we scaled so fast that we even had to take, tens of volunteers from top universities in the UK as well to support us. And in this scaling, we found that the only thing that we couldn't really scale was the human teacher, because no teacher or trainer teaches in the same way. We were scaling so fast, we couldn't even take people and train them. There's a shortage of teachers anyway, and so on and so forth. So at that time, we said, let's experiment. This is pre-ChatGPT, etc. We were also using more structured styles then. So we said, let's experiment with AI, because a teacher is supposed to be intelligent, artificial intelligence. Let's try it. So in 2021, we took out our first model, not generative AI, but we used that, and it worked incredibly successfully in refugee camps in northern Iraq. So that was the beginning of the journey, that it really showed us that it works. We are research led, so we always use research scales, etc. when we work with students. And what we found was they even found our avatar at that time and the teacher to be human-like, to be warm and competent. We use these scales apart from usability, etc. They found her trustworthy, and that was the signal that it worked. So that was our first big sort of aha moment, if you want to call it, which really got us into this line. Apart from that, today we work with universities, in Asia, in the Middle East. So we are working with universities. I think the latest university that has come in with us is Bahariya University's Business School, which is the top business school of Pakistan. First time we are doing this with them. So that's very exciting. We also came back when we went to give a keynote talk in Chile this time. A lot of interest there. At the moment, we're talking to a couple of universities in Chile itself, and also with the University of Sao Paulo, to see if they will take it up in the next couple of weeks. So that's exciting. And apart from us, I think if I remember the news correctly, the only other university that's using an AI teacher to teach an entire module, which we are doing, we're teaching an entire module, and they have their own model, is Harvard. So that's also showing that even the top ranks are looking at this and experimenting with it.
Fantastic. Yeah, Pauldy, your thoughts on, the actual case studies, the actual examples, and that aha moment, okay? We want to hear about successes that you're making,
Yeah, another example that we could also plug in our AI teacher to an existing learning platform, an online learning platform like a MOOC. So we did that with a MOOC platform in South Africa. This was also 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And this was tailored or targeted at underserved women. And most of them had dropped out of whatever education they were doing before. So they were starting to come back and learning new things. So they could use the platform to learn, but a lot of them had no really clue what they were doing. So when we had plugged in our AI teacher, that didn't look as nice as she was now. It was more like a chatbot function, but you could talk to her, ask her different things. She was guiding you through what you could do, what options there were. And what we did, we again did a research on this, and we surveyed as well as held focus groups with these female learners. And what they said is 74% of those women said they now knew what to learn next, which was quite impressive. And 77% said they would now come back to the platform and further engage in their learning journey, i.e. they were not going to drop out. So that was very, very interesting and positive news. So in that way, for us, or at least for me, that was a bit of an aha moment, because I thought, okay, they may like it, and they did. They loved interacting, they asked lots of questions, they could clarify doubts. That is quite expected if you think you plug in a chatbot. That's the whole purpose of it, right? You expect that you tick off those boxes. But I didn't necessarily expect that now so many knew what to learn next. So many said they would come back to the platform. For me, that was quite eye-opening. And we did see afterwards that this was not just words. They did actually go back and continue their learning journey. So that was quite interesting as well.